plaintiff, Michael Silver, dated the defendant, and he claims throughout their relationship, she would threaten to have him killed if he ever cheated on her or broke up with her. Michael moved the defendant in with him and his roommate, who's with Michael in court today. And that's when she became lazy and controlling. Michael's suing for stolen money and a dog. Defendant Sarah Fiore says before she started dating Michael, he made a living by performing sexual acts live on the internet, and the plaintiff's witness was his #1 fan. Sarah denies owing Michael for anything, and she's countersuing for damaged property and lost wages.
Start with you.
I know you've had a lot of crazy ex-girlfriend cases in this court, and I'm here to present to you a crazy ex-girlfriend who I broke up with. And during our relationship, she would actually threaten me that she could get me killed if I cheated on her or if I broke up with her again.
How long were you all together?
About 10 months, Your Honor.
Yeah. And you were threatened during those 10 months?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
How often?
It's been a couple times, and she pretty much says, if you do this, then I can do this. You know,
That is not true. That is not true, Your Honor.
You know some hitmen or something? You say
No.
you can get him killed?
No.
Right.
I've actually heard her say it.
You heard her say that? I'm sure if she said it, she was just angry and talking stuff. Go ahead. What else
Your
you
Honor.
want me to know about the relationship?
Well, the beginning of the relationship, it was really nice. It was the beginning of January. Then come February, I took her to Hawaii for 7 days for Valentine's Day.
Wow.
And then she moved in with myself and my roommate.
That. You about to shame me. 7 days in Hawaii. I can't afford that myself.
Sure.
Well, I may be able to afford it, but I'm not going to afford it. Go ahead.
And then she moved in with myself, my roommate, and my best friend, my witness. Then I bought the dog. And everything was pretty good. And then everything started kind of going, downhill. She was getting lazy, and then she was controlling me, and it was I wasn't happy. Pretty much, I can't go watch football with the guys on Sunday, because I can't go hang out with guys because it's our time to hang out. And football is a big deal in my life, Your Honor.
Very important.
A lot of guys it is.
Right.
And you purchased the dog.
Yes, sir.
All right, now that we're talking about dogs, I have to mention Marty and Sammy. My dogs. They're good dogs. So that they'll know I'm saying nice things too. We got a shout out on Dad's show.
We're sitting in front of the TV.
Yeah, just sitting in front of the TV waiting on me to come on. All right, go ahead, ma'am. You tell me some background on the case.
Okay. In December of 2008 was the first time we started dating. Before then, Mike worked on this website where he would on webcam for them.
Pardon me?
Oscar was his #1 fan, so he's going to say whatever Mike wants him to say. They moved in together after that.
What's this you slipped right past me about a video cam?
He would on a webcam for money.
Your Honor.
No.
So,
what was the purpose of the website? It wasn't his website, right?
No, he worked on it and would get paid by the minute from someone like Oscar to see it. So
you don't want to deal with that at all.
Your Honor, I was in the military, and I went from the military straight to construction. That is completely not true.
Ma'am, when you open up that type of testimony that is irrelevant, personal testimony, they are allowed to do the same thing.
That's fine. I have nothing
all right,
like that.
You want to tell me about her freakish ways?
Well, Your Honor, I broke up with her, so obviously she had no freakish ways. I like the ladies a little freakish. She's a little boring and lazy and sloppy and not very attractive, so I broke up with her.
Boring, lazy, sloppy, and not very attractive. All right. Good enough.
All right. Moved in with him. He cheated on me. He begged me back a couple months later to prove to me that he was going to be a better boyfriend, and to show how sorry he was. He bought me a puppy and took me to Hawaii and bought me the puppy right after Valentine's Day. He started drinking a lot more, smoking pot, and sometimes doing meth.
When was the puppy purchased?
February, right after February 20th.
Anyone have evidence of when it was purchased?
I do, Your Honor. I have a receipt right here from the pet store, my name.
All right. Date sold, just as she says, February 20th. Go ahead.
One day not the first time, but then he just snapped on me and got in my face and started yelling at me, calling me names, and kicked me out, and then I left.
Okay. Sir,
Wow.
let's get to the stolen money and the dog.
Your Honor, well, once she moved on and she moved out, she comes over and says, here's $1,000. In my bank account, I had $2,300. And she says, you owe me for rent and security deposit. Mind you, she's not on the lease, Your Honor. And
How did she
never
get
paid.
into your account?
We had a joint account.
What were the rules regarding the joint account?
That pretty much,
Your money is my money.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes. She came over the next morning and she dropped off $1,000. And I said, I had a lot more money than that. She goes, well, you owe me for rent and security deposit. I said, she's never paid anything of that. She never even paid anything.
That's not true, Your Honor, and I have proof of it.
All right, well, we're not going to nickel and dime on this joint account. He just said you all mixed your money together. So we're not going to suddenly say, oh, let's divide the money. You all were living as a husband and a wife.
Yeah.
Joint assets. And the dog. Sir, you say the dog was not a Valentine's gift. However, you say you took her on a 7-day trip to Hawaii for Valentine's. When was the trip?
It was in April, Your Honor.
So you do everything after the date. So if you gave her a trip 2 months after Valentine's, why wouldn't I believe that you gave her a dog 6 days after Valentine's Day? So it kind of makes sense. So you have to do a little more proving.
Before then, Mike worked on this website where he would on webcam for them.
Pardon me?
Oscar was his #1 fan, so he's going to say whatever Mike wants him to say.
What's this? You slipped right past me about a
Yeah.
video cam?
He would on a webcam for money.
Plaintiff Michael Silver is suing his ex-girlfriend, who claims Michael used to make a living by performing sexual acts live on the internet, and Michael's witness was his #1 fan.
The burden is on you.
I've got license and registration and everything for the dog.
Which he did last week.
Quiet, ma'am.
Proving that it's in
Where's
my
the
name.
dog now? Let's start there.
Her house. I don't even know because she
Okay.
took the dog and I called the cops.
You have the police report.
I don't, Your Honor. I was not able to get
and
there. but I
you
do
want to
have-
show me how you were able to place the dog in your name as owner.
It had always been that way.
All right, let me see it. She says you did it
Oh,
last
yes.
week in anticipation, I guess you're suggesting, of coming here.
Yes.
Did you put the dog in your name yet?
No, because I couldn't get any of the papers. He called the vet to make sure that they wouldn't give me anything, so I was not able to register him.
Because I'm the owner, Your Honor.
He paid for the dog, but it's not the owner.
Why didn't you register your dog prior to a couple of weeks before coming here?
I was actually living in an apartment which I wasn't allowed to have him, so I was afraid to license him.
The dog. Register the dog. 2 weeks ago, you registered the dog. You've had the dog since when? When did you buy it?
February 20th.
Why did you wait so long to register the dog?
I procrastinated, Your Honor.
Pardon me?
I procrastinated.
Procrastinated
Yes, sir.
until 2 weeks before you were going to court over the ownership. Gotcha. Your counterclaim, $1,583 for property damage and lost wages. How does he owe you for that?
When next day after I came to bring him the $1,006, I gave him a check. He got really upset that he punched a hole through my $1,400 armoire. And then the other $183, when he was serving me the papers at my work, he had a friend come make a fake, I'm a hairdresser, had a friend come and make a fake appointment for 3 hours, which Saturday's the busiest day. I lost, it was for $183 service.
Whose client was it?
It was a fake client that he sent in.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Saying, do
Here's
my
your paper.
hair.
Yeah.
And so you gave her an appointment.
Yeah. I also have a statement from my boss and then the receipt of what that service would have cost.
How do you respond to the damage?
Your Honor, I never punched it, but I did slam the door on it after she took my dog. It wasn't after the money. I was really angry and it was in the heat of the moment, and I slammed the door and it broke the glass.
I have a picture of it. There's broken pieces of wood on
Yeah,
both
he's
sides.
honest. He said he did break it.
Oh,
He
okay.
was angry and he slammed the door. That's admitting liability.
Okay.
She
for the
stole
damage.
my dog, Your Honor.
All right.
Stole him.
I don't believe you. I believe, as she says, you purchased it for her around Valentine's Day, for Valentine's Day. I don't need to hear. I don't believe you either. Oh, whatever you're going to say, you or no one else is going to change my mind about what is in front of me. And like I said, you purchased a dog around Valentine's Day as you took her on a 7-day cruise for Valentine's Day in April. You purchased a dog, she says, for Valentine's Day, 6 days after Valentine's Day. So once again, it makes sense that if you gave her a Valentine's trip 2 months later, that you would give her the dog 6 days later. Secondly, sir, you had no reasonable explanation as to why 2 weeks prior to coming to court, you finally get the dog placed in your name because you purchased it. And like you say, if you purchased it, you got the paperwork. And I believe you did this in anticipation of coming to court because you could have done it for nearly a year and you failed to do so. And you said you procrastinated, and that's why you didn't do so. But your procrastination just happened to end when you knew you were coming to court about this. So that's why I don't believe you. I will grant your judgment for the lost wages and for the damaged property. $1,583 for the property damage he admits to, for the lost wages, for the deception regarding your employment, and I will dismiss your claim. I believe you gave the dog to her. And as we concluded earlier with regard to the money, all the monies were joint. Therefore, your claim is dismissed. Judgment for the counterclaimant. Have a good day.
Well, karma's gonna nail her. That's all I gotta say. She stole my dog, and that's my dog. She's psycho.
She's nothing but a liar. That's all she is. A
She got
drunk
lucky today.
liar.
I'm extremely happy with the way everything went.